Hello, and welcome back to Crazy Dave's Kitchen, where today we're going to be making a soup in an instant pot. I'm sure everybody's got one of these lying around. If you don't have to. You can cook it a slow way. This soup goes together rather quickly. It takes about an hour and a half or so. It's great for a weeknight meal. It's going to be a chicken soup with bok choy and ginger. And so the ingredients that we have here, starting of course with the chicken, it's going to be 2 pounds of bone-in chicken thighs with the skin, but you're going to remove the skin. So that's a good thing. We have about a pound of bok choy, baby bok choy. The greens go in kind of later. We have 4 scallions. We have 1 bunch cilantro. To give us about a cup or so of chopped cilantro. We're also going to be having I have cooking wine. You can have sherry, but not cooking sherry. Cooking sherry has too much salt in it, and I would not recommend using that. But this wine available in most grocery stores, it's real wine, white wine. You want half a cup of wine. I also have 1 tablespoon of grapeseed oil. There's our grapeseed oil being used again. I have some fresh ginger. I bought about a 4-inch piece of ginger and then just peel it and then cut it up into pieces, maybe 4 or 5 pieces. I have 5 cloves of garlic that are just smashed. I have 2 teaspoons of white peppercorns. And I have 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. Also, to make the soup, there's going to be 6 cups of water. Right there is 4 cups. We're going to obviously do the other 2. So, getting started with our instant pot. Notice you say it correctly, then people don't get upset. So we're just going to press saute, more. And that should be on. So we're all set with that. We're going to add our oil, our 1 tablespoon of grapeseed oil, and we're going to wait until that is just shimmering. We're going to throw in our garlic and our ginger. Until those get fragrant. For 30 seconds or so. Now we're going to get our sizzle. We're going to add the cooking wine. And then our water. So we're going to do our water, just like so. So that's our 4 cups of water. Then we're going to add the other 2. There's our 6. We're going to add our peppercorns. And our 2 teaspoons of salt. We are also going to add our chicken thighs. We're going to arrange them in 1 layer. And once this begins to boil, then we're going to turn this off, put the lid on, and then pressure cook this for 20 minutes. It's going to be amazing. Of course, anytime you handle chicken, wash your hands, clean hands, no contamination. That's what we're looking for. So, again, we're going to have this come to a boil. We're going to turn it off. We're going to pop the lid on. and then we're going to set it to pressure cook for 20 minutes. Then after the 20 minutes, we're going to let it sit and kind of unpressure for 15 minutes on its own before we turn the little valve and let all the steam out. So I'll see you back here in about 20-ish or so minutes. All right, so it's been 20 minutes to cook and then 15 minutes sitting, venting naturally, and then I just flipped the little doohickey to vent the rest of the steam. Now we're going to take the lid off, carefully, of course, like so. And we are going to take the chicken out and put it onto a plate so that it can cool down a little bit. So here's our chicken. And we'll take this off of the bone after it cools a little bit. Just like so. We're going to let that sit. And then, oh, Crazy Dave's Forgetful Kitchen, you're also going to need rice vinegar when we put this back in the pot. I'm sure it was on the ingredient list. I just left it out of the big ingredient list. And meanwhile, while everything was cooking, I chopped up the bok choy, the cilantro, and also the green onions. So we're all set with that. Our next step is using a strainer, fine mesh strainer, if you have one lying around. You can use a colander. That's I used one similar not that long ago. So you want to carefully strain out the solids from the broth, and then we're going to add the broth back into the pot, and then so carefully pour the broth through the strainer, remove the solids, meaning all the peppercorns there. Peppercorns for everyone. There we go. So that's perfect. Remove the solids, and then we'll put the broth back into the pot. There's all our wonderful spices. And there we go. I guess I could have just put that into the old sink-a-rooney, but, you know. So there's our broth. We'll just dump that right back in there. And then we are going to go back to saute, medium, just like that, medium and normal. So it's just going to saute normal, not high, or actually low. Saute, oops, that's not right. There we go, saute low, no time. Let's try that again. Saute low. All right, so then we're going to add in our rice wine vinegar. We're going to add in our bok choy. And we're going to let that simmer until it softens up. In the meantime, while that's simmering, we're going to debone our chicken, and we'll add our chicken back in along with some of the other spices and so forth. And then when we come back, we should be Well, maybe we'll add the chicken in. After we simmer the bok choy, we're gonna debone the chicken, shred the chicken, and add that back in. And then add in our other vegetables, and then we should be all set with our soup. See you shortly. Okay, so took the chicken off the bones, probably wiped out all of the fingerprints on my fingertips, honestly. But it was still a little warm. So let the chicken cool a little bit more before you take it off and throw it back in the pot. So I threw the chicken in the pot, I threw the cilantro in the pot, I threw the green onions in there along with the bok choy, which we already had. This is a really nice, fast, with the Instant Pot, it's a really fast weekday meal. It's great. It'll last all week. You can bring it to work or do whatever. I like to sprinkle a little bit of hot pepper flakes on top to kind of spice the soup up a little bit. I also did add I added a quarter teaspoon of ground white pepper and another teaspoon of kosher salt into the pot just to kind of season the soup. Also, I made some jasmine rice, a big bowl of jasmine rice, and then I add the jasmine rice to the soup. Or you can eat the rice on the side. And of course, you know, we have our Chinese scallion bread. Also goes very good with this soup. So there's our big reveal of the bok choy chicken, roasted chicken bok choy soup, along made with the dark meat, the chicken thighs, 1 pound or 2 pounds, 2 pounds chicken thighs. With the bone and everything, it gives it good flavor. You just peel away the skin. Anyway, that's our show for today. Thanks for tuning in to Crazy Dave's Kitchen. I always want to say chicken. And thanks to all of my subscribers, 63 and still climbing. Thanks, good grassroots. Every time I meet somebody, I try to get them to subscribe. So I appreciate all of you guys, and we will catch you later. See you next time, Crazy Dave's Kitchen.